You survived the last battle. That was the mistake, because now you're standing on the deck of a wooden ship off the southwest coast of Korea, and your admiral has just finished counting. 13. 13 ships. That's your entire navy. That's everything Korea has left on the water. And across the strait, sails start appearing. Then more. Then more. You stop counting at 100 because counting feels pointless now. Your admiral looks at the enemy fleet. Then he looks at you, and he says you're going to attack. You are not going to survive this. But by sundown, somehow, you will. This is the most lopsided naval battle in history, and the man standing next to you is about to win it. Here's everything you need to know about how you got here. It's short because the real story is what happens next. Japan invaded Korea. Their problem had a name, Admiral Yi Sun-sin, the one man who kept sinking their supply ships. So Japan got rid of him without a fight. A few well-placed rumors, and Yi's own government arrested him, tortured him, and demoted him to common soldier. The naval equivalent of being fired, then told to mop the deck you used to command. His replacement promptly sailed the entire Korean fleet into a trap. Of roughly 150 ships, almost all were destroyed in a single disaster at Chilcholyang. Almost all. 13 survived, so Korea, desperate, gives Yi his job back and hands him the wreckage. The court actually suggests he just abandon the navy and fight on land. His reply becomes legend. I still have 13 ships. As long as I live, the enemy will never be safe. Whew, brave words, mathematically terrifying ones. Because Japan is sending over 300 ships up the coast, and the only thing standing between them and the capital is you, 12 other ships, and one stubborn man who studies tide charts. Which brings us back to that strait, and the part where Yi says you're going to attack. To understand what he's about to do, you need to understand one thing, the water. So look at where he chose to make his stand. The place is called Myeongnyang, the Uldonmok Strait. And it is not normal water. It's a narrow channel, barely 200 meters wide at points, and the tide rips through it like a river, up to 10 knots, fast enough to drag a warship sideways. Twice a day, the current reverses completely. Yi knows this water. The Japanese don't. That's the whole plan. In open sea, 300 ships surround 13, and it's over in minutes. But in this narrow throat of water, only a handful of enemy ships can fit through at once. Their numbers, their entire advantage, become useless. The strait does what your 13 ships never could. It makes the fight almost fair. Almost. Because there's a problem with this brilliant plan. On the morning of the battle, when Yi orders his captains forward, they don't move. They've seen the enemy fleet. They've done the same math you have. Terror has frozen all 13 ships in place. So Yi does something insane. He sails his single flagship forward, alone, into 300 ships, to prove it can be done. And for a few minutes, that must have felt like hours. One Korean ship fights the entire Japanese vanguard by itself. Picture it from your deck, frozen at the back, watching. Your admiral's ship is surrounded. Japanese vessels crowd in, trying to board. That's how they fight. Swarm a ship and overwhelm the crew hand to hand. But the channel is chaos. The current is shoving their hulls together. They can't get the angles. They can't all reach him at once. And Yi's ship is built differently. It's a Panok Seon, a Korean warship with high walls and a flat, sturdy deck, hard to board and built as a stable gun platform. While the Japanese try to climb, Yi's crew does the one thing the Panok Seon does better than anyone. Cannons. Volley after volley, point blank into packed wooden hulls. From the back, you watch enemy ships start to splinter, and something cracks in you. The fear, or maybe the shame of letting one man fight alone. Yi sees the hesitation breaking. He signals. He calls out the cowardice of the frozen captains by name. Public, brutal, effective. One ship edges forward, then another, and slowly, 13 ships become a line again. Now the water turns. This is the moment Yi has been waiting for since before the battle began. The tide in the Uldonmok reverses, and suddenly the current that was pushing the Japanese forward is dragging them backward, into each other. Their tight formation becomes a traffic jam, wooden hulls grinding together in a not current. Ships collide, oars snap, the vanguard can't advance and can't retreat, and the ships behind keep pushing blindly into the ones ahead. And your 13 ships, holding steady because they know the water, pour fire into the tangle. Then comes the moment that ends it. In the water floats the body of a Japanese commander, Kurushima Michifusa, killed in the fighting. A Korean sailor spots it. They haul it from the sea, and Yi has it raised high, where the whole Japanese fleet can see who they've lost. Whatever was left of their morale goes over the side with that body. The fleet that came to erase you stops, wavers, and turns to run, straight into the current, into their own ships, into the chaos the strait has become. When the water finally calms, you count again. At least 30 Japanese warships destroyed. A captured prisoner later said half their men were dead or wounded. Their commander, gone. Their advance up the coast, finished in a single afternoon. And your side? 13 ships sailed in. 13 ships are still floating. Not one was lost. The Koreans call it the miracle of Myeongnyang. But it wasn't a miracle. A miracle is luck. This was a man who studied the tide charts, chose the one stretch of water where his enemy's greatest strength became useless, sailed in first to prove it could be done, and waited for the sea itself to change sides. Yi Sun-sin would rebuild his navy from these 13 ships. A year later, at the Battle of Myeongnyang, he'd shatter the retreating Japanese fleet for good, and die in that final fight, struck by a bullet, reportedly telling his men to keep his death a secret so the battle wouldn't falter. But that's another story. For now, you're alive. You shouldn't be. The number said 13 against 300. The numbers were right about everything except the part that mattered. You survived this. And if you want to see how this admiral kept doing the impossible until his very last breath, that video is waiting for you right now.